Good afternoon, rather. Good afternoon. This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm coming back with another live stream. I know that I've been missing for the past week and a half, 2 weeks. I've been dealing with a lot of things that I don't really want to talk about at this time. Like, I will talk about a little bit, like, I was going through some health issues where it was affecting the way that I move, and I had to go to physical therapy for a month. Um, I also, you know, was dealing with some stresses and things of that nature, and I dealt with loss of a family member, a real close family member of mine, and I don't want to go too much in debt into that. Um, I've been enjoying my day. Um, it is Veterans Day, and I went to a few places this morning and early afternoon with my father because he's a veteran too. And we got like a good amount of free and discounted items from restaurants. So it was a good day. And I thank God that I'm alive. I call God the Most High. So I thank the Most High that I'm alive. I also thank both of my parents. I thank my father for saving my life because without him allowing me to make the moves that I've been able to make recently, I don't know if I would have made it to this point because things were really getting to me and my life was starting to crumble around me, and I needed to have I needed to have a change of environment. I needed to start fresh and start new, and I've been able to do that because of my dad. So I really appreciate my father for what he's done. I thank my mother for allowing me to live because she could have easily, gotten rid of me when she was pregnant or gave me up for adoption when I was born, but she didn't do that. I know who I am. I know what family I come from. I'm a Bowman first and foremost, but I love and I accept my family for who they are. That's all sides of the family that I'm talking about, even the ones that I don't know that much. I love them even if I don't know them because they're my family. And I love them from a distance because some family that I have met, I understand that because of certain situations, circumstances, some of it that wasn't my fault, but it does me being around, it brings bad memories. And I have to understand that. And I have to, just go with the flow, understand that, yeah, I may have not done anything to these family members, but my presence reminds them of some things that happened in the past before I was around. And there's nothing that I can do about it. But that kind of helps me go into the topic of what I want to talk about. And that's that life isn't fair. Now, I've been on YouTube interacting and becoming a part of the manosphere for the past 2 years. Like I'm according to a lot of people that's been in these topics and these discussions, a person like myself is a newbie because I just started 2 years ago. Like even knowing what the manosphere is, hearing their talking points, understanding what it is that's going on around me that I didn't have a clue on when I was younger, and through a lot of my early adult years, I wasn't taught a lot of things. And now that I'm older, I see things for how it is. And I will say that it is a healing process that goes with it, and I would be a liar if I said that, oh, like I'm dealing with everything, it doesn't bother me that much. I'm able to overcome it and be strong, and it's not a big deal. That would be a lie. Like, there is a healing process, because it's like you have to understand that you've been lied to for a long time. Uh, People did this so they could take advantage of you. They gaslit you and they lied to you so you can continue being useful to them. But once you realize that you've been lied to and you've accepted it, and you understand that you have to move differently, uh, they are going to still try to convince you that it's all in your head, or they're going to distance themselves from you, which is also good. And I had to learn that life isn't fair. Like, life is never going to be fair. There are going to be people that are going to manipulate and lie to you just to get you to do what it is they want you to do. Now, growing up, I always had this issue with, you know, trying to get girls to like me, trying to get women to like me or whatever. And people say, oh, all you gotta do is just be nice and do this and do that, like work hard, get a decent job, like work on yourself, build yourself up, and, things will change. And I would do all these things. I would go out and volunteer. I became part of groups and organizations to try to show that I was a good and caring person, and I did a lot of volunteer work. I'm talking about to the point to where I was scrubbing floors on my hands and knees for free, picking up trash, doing all types of stuff, going to the school, speaking to the children. Like, I did a lot of volunteer work. And this is before I joined any organization. And even when I was active in an organization, I was doing these things. And I was like, if I do all these things, opportunities are open up for me. People see that I'm actually trying to improve myself and be a better person. Uh, they won't treat me as harshly as they usually do. But the reality is that it didn't matter what I did. Like, some people, they have it in their minds that they don't like you that much. It is what it is. Or if something about you just rubs them the wrong way, even if you're not doing anything to them personally, just your presence sometimes can bother people. And you could be doing all the right things. It kind of reminds me of when Carlton Banks was trying to join a frat on the episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and they had him doing extra stuff while Will Smith was kind of getting the pass to get into this organization, and they still wasn't going to accept him even after doing all that to him. And the reason is because, oh, they didn't like how he talked or how he looked. And it wasn't fair, because he actually did the work that they said that they wanted him to do, and they put extra on him, so he had to go above and beyond, still to be rejected. Well, guess what? Things like that happen in life all the time. Some people are going to lie to you and manipulate you, is because they are looking out for their best interest. I've had people that I trusted, that I loved, that I cared about, use me for energy, time, money, and attention. I used to be a part of this church where this pastor was like, oh, just stick with me. Everything in your life is going to change. Everything in your life is going to get better. I was giving her a lot of money. I trusted her with a lot of my resources, and I ended up getting screwed over in the end. Like, I ended up being thousands of dollars in debt because of this person. And then I found out that she had a gambling addiction that she still hasn't fully disclosed to everybody. And I'm not going to put her business out there or her name out there. But after going through that, and she wouldn't admit that she did anything wrong, I had to leave that church, and I had to learn a valuable lesson that I can't trust just everybody, even if they seem like good people. Like, some people, they have bad intentions, and there were red flags that flew that I totally ignored, and I have to take responsibility for that. Like, whenever there's a red flag, you can't ignore it. And I understand that goes with women, with men. Sometimes, this person might have a red flag, but this person is a good person. Even if you just, even if it doesn't seem right, go with what your gut feeling says. And sometimes it's the right call. Sometimes you might end up missing out on the bad person, but sometimes it's better to be safe than sorry. And I had to learn that the hard way, because before my eyes were open, I was a lot more gullible than what I am now. And when you're gullible, when you're naive, you become a useful idiot to people. And when you're a useful idiot to people, you're going to always be taken advantage of. And not only by people outside of your family, you're going to be taken advantage of by people in your family, until you finally fully wake up and say, hey, I'm not dealing with this crap anymore. I'm not just going to be silent about what's going on. Like, I'm going to speak up for myself. Once you start speaking up for yourself and people are used to you being quiet about it, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. They're going to say, oh, something is wrong with him. I don't know what's going on with him. He ain't never acted like this before. But what it is that these people are used to having control over you with a false notion that they're being fair to you, but they're not being fair to you. It's very hard to find people who are going to be fair to you in this world that we live in currently. And the reason is because life in general isn't fair. There have been so many people that I've went above and beyond for, that in return they pretty much did their best to ruin me, ruin my reputation, make me out to be the bad guy. And I didn't have the influence to overcome it because they had more influence than me. So guess what? Since they had more influence than me, most people took their side over it than mine. And I went through a huge period of being ostracized. I went through a huge period of people just turning their backs on me. There was a guy that tried to link me up with a woman that I wasn't feeling at all. When I told him I wasn't feeling her like that, he went around and said that I said all these nasty things about her. And even though people knew that I didn't really say like all the harsh things that he said that I said, it was the fact that I had the gall to say no to what it is that the whole group wanted me to do. And I realized that most men are in this so-called gender war. That's what woke me up to what this gender war is that, hey, that these people don't care about what it is that you want in your life, what it is that you desire, your ideals. They want you to do a certain thing, and if you don't do it, they are going to make it miserable for you as much as they possibly can. You're going to be ignored. You are going to be uh, left out. And if you were left out or growing up, they know that this is going to bother you. They know that it's going to tear you up on the inside. And I would be a liar to say that sometimes it doesn't bother me, because it does. Like, there's been times when I would be in a room with people, and as soon as I go in the room, they wouldn't say anything to me, but they would immediately leave, especially if they like a somewhat attractive woman. And I know that they've probably heard things about me. Some of it, most of it probably ain't true, but in their minds, they like, we don't even want to take chance on this guy if this is the reputation that he has, even if it's a lie. Like, I've been lied on so much, even though they knew that the lie was a lie, they rolled with it because that's the group think process. And going through that and going through cancellation, I had to understand that life isn't fair. They wanted me to be the person that they wanted me to be with no questions asked. And since I bucked the system and I said no, it was war from that point forward. Then I had to confront the lies that were told to me growing up, not by my father because he wasn't around, but I had to understand where those people were coming from. And even though it wasn't right what they did or correct what they did it for their best interest. They did it so they could have a safety net. And I'm not going to put specific members of my family on blast, but everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm doing this so I don't hurt anybody's feelings, but the truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? And at 38 years old, understanding that you are looked at as a utility slash useful idiot, it could be extremely hard to deal with, especially if you work your ass off to overcome a lot of things that happened in your past, especially your own personal mistakes and bad decisions. And I will admit that I made a lot of bad decisions, and it only quadrupled the problems that I already had growing up. It only worsened my situation. But I was making an effort when some people would just give up. But I fast forward to right now and understanding that those people that looked at me as a useful idiot, those people that shunned me once I started waking up, it was something that I needed to happen to me. I needed to understand that, hey, I needed this wake up call. I needed to stop looking for validation from people that do not have my best interest at heart. And even if I have their best interest at heart, it doesn't matter because life isn't fair. Now, there are some women out here who will look at a guy like me and they would say, I deserve to be with a guy like him, you know, and they might not be the person that I even would imagine even allowing myself to be with. But in their minds, they looking at me like, oh, if I can't get, you know, the end guy that everybody else wants, then I will settle for him. And if I'm not willing to settle for her, it's going to be a problem because men, we are expected to understand that life isn't fair and that we have to sometimes take the short end of the stick. But now that we understand that we live in an equal society where everything is supposed to be equal, we're like, hey, why should we have to take the crumbs if we don't have to? We can get our passports and go elsewhere. And it might not seem like it's fair to other people that we're doing this, that we are bucking the system of how things have been going. But if this overall Babylonian system that everybody is complaining about and we seeing that it's crumbling, every aspect of it is going to crumble, especially the relationship aspect of it, because we realize that the system as a whole has been detrimental to everybody. So why would I allow myself to participate in something that I know isn't looking out for my best interest at heart, that isn't fair to me? I know that life isn't fair, but why should I play fair in a game that isn't fair to me? That's something that they won't talk about. They'll talk about, oh, you need game, you need this, or you need that. You get all those things and you still having the same results. And then they'll be like, well, you have to just deal with what it is that you get. And it's like, okay, if I have to deal with what it is that I can get, then why not look elsewhere? And I know for a fact that I could get better than what I've been offered here so far if I go elsewhere. I've been to different countries. So the wool is way off of my eyes. I don't hate anybody, but I will be accused of hating certain people just because I'm not willing to be in a serious relationship or date them. And these same women will still have preferences, but it's okay. They can have preferences. But at the same time, life isn't fair. So I had to understand that there are going to be times when I get attacked, when I get criticized, when I get belittled, when I get gaslit, because I hold true and dear to what it is that I'm saying. And I know that some people don't care about what it is that I have to say or what I think. And they're saying, we don't care. You're going to do what it is that we want or else. And I said, okay, then do the or else. And they've been doing the or else and it hasn't worked. They're upset. But at the same time, they still going to continue trying to do it. But I've already made up in my mind that I'm not doing what it is that they would like me to do because it doesn't fit me personally. And I've said that so many times, being ignored. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to show with my actions. And so I've been showing it with my actions, and I understand that I'm in this war, and I understand that it's tough, and I understand that I'm not going to receive any validation. I'm not going to, receive any type of like I'm not gonna be shown any love the way that a lot of dudes who either fit what it is that the women want or the dudes that go along with the program even though they know that they don't want to go along with the program. I'm not gonna get the same type of love that those dudes get. I'm an outsider. I had to accept that I'm an outsider as far as the way that things are going. Now, like I said, it hurts my feelings sometimes, but hey, that's the way that it is. This is the life that I had to choose. Like I had to choose either this or that. This way, I was like, hey, it's a possibility that I might die single with no children, but at least I have a peace of mind. This way, I would have to be with somebody that I don't really want to be with an attitude that I really don't like, possibly having multiple children with different men, whatever the situation wouldn't be good for me. But hey, at least I'm in a relationship. And I chose to go this way, where at least if I do end up in a relationship, it will be with somebody that I choose. I choose to be with that person. I had to get myself out of a certain environment that was tearing me up, causing me a lot of stress, having chest pains every day for 2 months. And I had to take responsibility and accountability for the way that my life was going. Now, am I where I want to be at currently? No, I'm not. But I see the improvements of the decisions that I've been making recently. And I understand that it's a deeper level beyond what it is that I wanted to do that I made these decisions. Like God allowed me to make the decision when I did because He has a plan for me. I don't know what it is, but I know that I'm on this path. And I know that I got to continue on this path. And it doesn't matter how long it takes me to get to where it is that I need to be, I'm going to get there. I don't know if I'll ever have a family or get married again, but I can't worry about that. The only thing that I can worry about is healing myself, being the best version that I can be, and overcoming the obstacles that I can overcome in order to live the best version of life that I can live. So if I end up being with somebody overseas, that's the way that it's supposed to be. If I don't, that's the way that it's supposed to be. But in order for me to consider staying here and being in this environment, it's going to take a really special person. And that person has to fit within the mode that I am trying to go into, not what they want me to do. Like I'm the man, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be the one that's going to be the overall top dog in the situation, not her. I'm not going to bend and manipulate my life in order to fit what it is that she's trying to do. It's not going to work that way. Like, I know I have to make some compromises here and there, but there's certain things that I'm not doing. And I've already made it in my mind that I'm not doing. And the Most High would have allowed me to make those decisions to change everything if that's the way that it was supposed to go at this point. But it's not that way, and I'm not going to force it anymore. Now, as far as these game coaches and everything, hey, I understand how you feel. You know, you feel threatened because the men that's supposed to be here to be the buffers for you, they made the decision to do what's best for them, and you saying, "Oh, that's not fair." Well, guess what? Life isn't fair. If you think they cheat in the game, oh well. I don't like the game. I hate the game here. You know how they said back in the 90s, don't hate the player, hate the game. Well, I hate the game because the game is rigged, and the older that I get, the more that I see that the game is rigged. And now that the game is rigged, and I decide not to play a rigged game, you have an issue with it. Because we are supposed to be the ones that be the stepping stools for you. We are supposed to be the useful idiots. We supposed to be the ones that fund your lifestyle with our money, because eventually that's what it all boils down to. We give these women money, even the ones that we don't even want. We buffer them from you, and then, like, if we do want somebody that's decent, we have to, spend a lucrative amount of money. That person still isn't going to like us. They're going to take that money and go to the person that they really want to be with. We know that this is what's going on. You know this is what's going on. And if I have to spend money on somebody, I might as well look for the best deal. And I know that this sounds very harsh. This sounds very wrong to a lot of people, but it is what it is. This is the life that we are living in, the society that we live in. Uh, Men and women are on a much more equal playing field than ever before. And we're not taking the crap anymore. And I'm at the point to where I'm like, I said my piece. What are you going to do about it? You've already ostracized me and put me in a box where I get totally ignored. Fine. I get that. I'm there. I see what's going on. I'm going to keep doing myself. If you're still mad that I'm still not going alone, what are you going to do about it? I'm not going to push my luck and say that I'm willing to die or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because some of you probably want to, like, just eliminate men like me from the existence of life right now, because you're like, oh, he's going to influence these younger men not to go along with the program. And we need these men to save the community. Like the community has been destroyed and has been useless to so many for so many years and for so many people. Like, why am I going to waste my time working to help out a destroyed community? It's already gone. It's already a barren wasteland. I need to focus more on myself now. If there are a group of people that's really wanting to pull themselves up and pull themselves out of the situation, I can give them a helping hand as much as possible. But the whole community as a whole is what we know it as right now. It's a waste of time. And I would be lying to myself if I said that it wasn't a waste of time. But like I said, once I realized that life isn't fair, what it was that I was trying to ignore, what I was trying not to see, it is what it is. I had to make the proper adjustment. And right now I'm currently healing and forgiving myself for not accepting things for how they were 100% fully. You cannot fault me and you cannot blame me for that, but if you want to, you can. I understand. It's because you on your personal level are still looking out for your best interest. And that's what this whole gender war is going on about. That's what this whole shame in the passport bros is all about. That's what it is, like having different ideologies and you wanting to shame them into a box of thinking the way that you want them to think. That's what this is all about. It's all about control. We are around a whole bunch of control freaks, and they don't think that it's fair that they can't control the minds and actions of everybody else around them. And the people that they want to control don't think that it's fair that these people are being assholes and trying to control the way they think and the way that they act and what it is that they do. This is life. And I find a balancing point, a way to balance it. Because if we don't, if we let this get to us, it can drive us crazy. It can have us doing stupid stuff, you know, like committing criminal acts, killing ourselves, going crazy, you know, putting ourselves in situations where we become victimized. And the older that I get, uh, I'm seeing more and more that there's certain aspects of life that isn't fair, and it's never going to be fair. Like everybody isn't going to be a successful business person. Everybody isn't going to reach a million billionaire status. But like, achieving success isn't the only thing that makes a good man. It's all about character. It's all about what it is that this person is overall trying to, achieve in life. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, it's all about building a legacy and having family and having children. That's cool. Some people, it's all about being comfortable within their own skin to where they happy with where it is that they're at and being at peace. That's where I'm at. Then you have some people, it's all about money and being successful and things of that nature. And I'm not knocking any of that. But when I see individuals attacking others because of their different ideologies, that's when I'm like, what's the point? Because you're not going to really change this person unless they want to change. If they don't want to change certain things about themselves, you can't do anything about it. Like if I still have this desire within myself to be with a woman that looked like Coy Ray or Virginia Sandhouse, that's what it is. That's what it is. It doesn't matter if I get shamed or if I get ignored, if nobody wants to be around me. They don't want to talk to me. If they think that I'm weird and I'm this and I'm that, they want to spread lies about me. Go ahead, do all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to think the way that I think and do things the way that I do because I understand that life isn't fair. At this point, I'm like, I might as well go ahead and do what it is that best fits me. I don't need to be a part of any group or organization. Never have needed to be a part of any group or organization. However, I did need to go through that experience of being part of a group or an organization to realize that I didn't need to be a part of a group or organization. If I want to make a difference, I can make a difference on my own. I don't need a bunch of people cheering me on. I don't need a bunch of people feeding me bullshit, you know, telling me that I'm this negative type of person because I'm not going along with the program. Well, if your program doesn't fit me, then it doesn't fit me. I'm not trying to be out here and just cursing and saying F you all the time because you have an idea about what it is that I am and you want to enforce your idea of who it is that I am on me. Don't project your insecurities on me because you think that I'm a lower rung person that should just bow down to what it is that you want me to do. Life doesn't work that way. And for you, life isn't fair because you're never going to get that from me. Just like I may never get a lot of things that I want, but I had to just learn how to suck it up and deal with things to the best of my ability that I'm doing right now. You know, one thing that really bothers me about the current atmosphere, the climate that we live in currently, is somebody like Kyrie Irving. All he did was post a link on his Twitter account, and the NBA is putting him through all these hoops just to play basketball again. Then you have what happened to Kanye West recently. Like, they don't want us to be free thinkers. They don't. And then you have those that are backing this system that is currently in place that will say, oh, he's not a free thinker. He's only using the talking points of this group or that group. You know, we need to stop saying that. Like, these people are hypocrites. They are cowards. They are a bunch of bandwagon people that just want to go along to get along so they can get their little check and their little money. And that's where the useful idiot comes into play. Because if you have a guy that's able to manipulate and control a whole bunch of useful idiots and make them do what it is that they want to do, then that guy is displaying, oh, I have this type of power to make this dude do this, even though we know that's not what he want to do. And it builds their reputation up. It builds their power up. And I'm saying right now that we need to get to this point to where we stand up for ourselves. Even if we can't stand up for ourselves 100%, we got to have a point in our lives where we saying, okay, this is the line, and this is the line, and this is where it's drawn. I don't care what you do to me. You're not going to make me go past this line. And I'm not going to allow you to cross this boundary with me either. That's a part of life. Now, is it fair to that person that wants to cross that boundary? No, it isn't. Is it fair to the person that wants to, you know, be able to get along with others without having to put up a boundary like that? No, it isn't. And I've been on both sides of it. I've been on the side that wanted to overstep the boundaries. And I've also been on the side of where I'm putting the boundary up and these people aren't respecting it. And that's being real about it. That's being a human being about it. That's being honest. This is my personal experiences that I'm talking about here. And being at that point to where I'm putting up a boundary that's not being respected by anybody, it helped me to realize that I needed to respect other people's boundaries a lot more than what I did. And this is me being 100% honest on here, me being transparent. Like, if there's a vibe that I'm being annoying to others, there's no reason for me to be around those people. If they think that my presence is only going to cause friction, there's no reason for me to be around those people. Because it like if we can't get along, even with the simple things, there's no way that we're able going to. There's never going to be a way that we will be able to build with one another. It's always going to be some type of clash. Even if this person is like, okay, I'll just try to deal with this person as best as I can. Uh, any type of situation that can cause even a minor conflict will turn from a small conflict to something major. And that's because this person just honestly just don't want to be around this person. They honestly don't want to deal with that person because this person isn't going along with how they think that this person should do or behave or carry on with their life. I mean, and this is things that happen all the time. This is things that happen all the time. And I was on the panel with Dennis Sperling last night, and I had a chance to talk to a lot of brothers on there and hear their stories and listen to their experiences. And I was like, wow, like certain things in my life that wasn't fair, even though it wasn't fair, and I'm not going to take it away that it wasn't fair. There's a lot of people that's been through even way worse than what I've experienced. And this isn't just an anomaly. Like we see what's going on in society 100% now. Like the information is out here. Just me being on YouTube and talking about it the way that I'm talking about it right now, it might not be a lot of people that's going to listen to what it is that I got to say. But even if the information is getting spread just a little bit, like the information is out there, you know. And the overall thing that I want to say to whoever is listening to this is that you have to learn how to take these hard punches and roll with it. Like, and I'm not saying that it's easy because it's not. Like, my feelings still get hurt sometimes because I'm like, damn, I don't have any ill will towards anybody or this person or that, but they are looking at me like I'm just Satan, in the flesh. You know, I have a belief in being part of the original 12 tribes. But me saying this, it offends people. They hate that I have this idea in my mind and they want to do everything to try to get rid of this idea in my mind. Even coming to me with some crappy history knowledge and questioning me, trying to belittle my point of view. And I'm like, this is my personal belief. Why are you coming at me about my personal belief? You don't have to believe it. This is the way I believe. Personally, I believe this. You don't have to believe it. But we live in a world that you have thought police out here. You have what they call dick police out here. You have uh relationship police, fashion police, every type of people trying to judge and, like nitpick and point and do all these things to others. Have I participated in those activities that I'm talking about? Yes, I have. But as I'm getting older, I'm understanding where I'm going in wrong on doing that, and I'm making the changes in order to change the way that I interact with others, because I understand how life is and how it can be extremely good for one person and extremely bad for another. I know how it is to want to have nice things but don't have the money to get it, and having other people ridicule you for it because you can't get it at that particular time, and you're like, hey, I don't have the money to do it, but they still nitpicking at you about it because, hey, it's fun to them. It helps them deal with their stress, and they expect you to just deal with it. And if it's causing you stress, and you can't deal with it, why be around those type of people? Even if I get all the stuff that they said that, they would just leave me alone while I get it. Why would I want to be around them at that point? Because they never wanted me to reach that point. They wanted me to be the guy that get ridiculed, that get talked down to all the time. They wanted me to be the useful idiot. That was my role to them. Is it a good thing? Does it feel good for me to admit that to myself? No. But since I understand that life isn't fair, I got to be honest with myself that this is the way that I was looked at and how I was treated. And as a man, do I love and do I respect myself enough to break out of that mold, to break out of those chains that I've allowed to be placed upon myself? You see, I'm here by myself right now. No friends, no nothing. I'm not partying, none of that stuff. But guess what? This alone time is great because I get a chance to be at peace with myself, be at peace with my circumstances and my situation. I'm not trying to overcompensate for the things that I have, insecurities about. And the more that I mature and the more that I gain knowledge and wisdom, the more that I realize that, hey, the way that I am is just fine. And there are other people that are in better positions than me, and there are other people that are in worse positions than me. But at the end of the day, we all going to die. Now, are we going to die with children? All of us? No. Are we going to die being married or in relationships? No. Are we going to die with having a lot of money and being able to pass it on to other family members? No. But at the end of the day, it's all about finishing that race of life, this unfair life. And while I'm saying that it's unfair for me, imagine how those people that are living in deplorable conditions, and I'm not only talking about in different countries, I'm talking about here in America, and they are getting totally ignored. And we know that this is happening. They living in totally deplorable conditions in what's supposed to be one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Is that fair for somebody to be living in squalor in a country this rich? I'm so glad that I was able to, express myself on here and to give my point of view. I thank the Most High that I had the opportunity to talk on here and to get a lot of this stuff off of my chest that's just been sitting here for the past couple of weeks. And all that know what I've been going through. They understand, you know, what I've been dealing with and how hard it was for me to just get up here and to express what it is that I need to say. But for those that catch this in the playback, I just want to say one thing to you, that you keep your head up. You keep pressing forward no matter how difficult it gets. You keep pressing forward even if you can only just take one step for one day. You keep pressing forward through the tears, the disappointments, the setbacks. You keep pressing forward even when everybody else seems like they're against you, because they are. You keep pressing forward and you thank God that you have another day to survive. Um, but that's it for this topic. Like, life is not fair. So, all those that want to dump on me for my speaking pattern, the way that I present what my topics, you know, what it is that I have to say, you have every right to. And I have every right to do it to you, but I'm going to do the best that I can not to react too negatively to what others say, especially when it comes to the passport thing, because at this point, it's like, what can anybody do to stop me from doing what it is that I'm doing, unless they want to totally outright ban me and going out of the country. And I don't think that's going to happen because it's too much money to be made. So with that being said, I'm going to end on with the topic. Um, I am planning on like uploading some sermons that I wrote back when I was a minister, and I wrote about 8 or 9 of them. I'm not 100% sure how many sermons that I wrote, but I wrote some sermons, and I never got a chance to do them in front of people because the situation that I told you about, like where I was getting scammed. But I might as well put it up here, even if I don't get paid money like how I was thinking that I would get paid when I wrote them. You know, these sermons could help somebody out. So that's something that I'm going to do, and just be on the lookout for me uploading these sermons that I did do in the past. But this is just Bob Bowman. I'm signing out. Have a wonderful and safe Veterans Day. Have a wonderful and safe weekend. One thing that I haven't said that I need to say is that I love you guys. Like, even the ones that I've never met before, I had conversations with on here. You know, I just thank you for looking at what it is that I'm putting up here, like seeing what it is that I'm trying to do. You know, I don't have the best technology. I don't have all the equipment and tools that everybody else have, but you know, I'm getting a chance to express who it is that I am and express myself fully, and showing a part of myself that a lot of people don't get to see, and they see in the development of who it is that I am. And like, I know that there are some people that just think that I'm just like this, whiny asshole. And I'm not. Like, I have stresses like you do. I have pains like you do. Um, there's certain times when I want to speak up, but I don't, because I know that all it's going to do is cause more chaos. And sometimes I just fall back and don't say anything. And yeah, I mean, I'm a human being just like everybody else. And, we just want to get our opinions and our point of views out there. And it doesn't matter how big things get or how small things get. I mean, it is what it is. But I still thank you and I still love you for taking the time out to listen to what it is that I got to say. But thank you. God bless. This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm out.